Portugal killed its cheap property, golden visa. Greece raised its minimums. Spain tightened the door. But one European country still has properties under $40,000 that can support a real residency story in 2026. Not in the European Union yet. Not a guaranteed passport. Not a magic golden visa. But a legal foothold in an official European Union candidate country before the rest of the world fully wakes up. That country is Albania. And the reason Albania matters is simple. Most of Europe has already repriced. Portugal used to be the affordable dream. Buy property, get residency, wait long enough, and potentially build a future inside the European Union. Then the property route was removed. Greece pushed many investors toward much higher thresholds. Spain moved against its golden visa. The cheap property door across southern Europe has been closing one country at a time. Albania is different. It sits on the Adriatic and Ionian Seas. It has Mediterranean beaches, mountain towns, a growing tourism market, low taxes, low living costs, and official European Union candidate status. But here is the important part. Albania is not selling instant European Union residency. It is not handing out passports because someone bought a cheap apartment. The opportunity is more subtle than that. Property can help create a genuine legal base in Albania. And because Albania is moving toward the European Union, that base could become much more valuable over time. That is the entire thesis of this video. Not buy a cheap flat and magically become European. Buy early, live cheaply, build legal ties, and position before the price of entry potentially changes. So what can under $40,000 actually buy in Albania? This is where things get interesting. In parts of Tirana, the capital, $30,000 to $40,000 can still put someone close to basic apartments in developing neighborhoods or older buildings. Not luxury, not glass towers, but real property in the capital of a European candidate country. In Vlora, one of Albania's major coastal cities, that same budget can sometimes reach smaller apartments or older units close enough to the sea to make the rental and lifestyle angle interesting. In Saranda, the famous southern coastal city near Corfu, prices have moved up quickly, but deals still appear below what most buyers would expect for a Mediterranean destination. The best value is usually not the polished beachfront listing everyone sees online. It is one layer back, in older buildings, side streets, or areas still improving. And in smaller cities like Korka, Berat, Gjirokastër, Shkodër, or Elbasan, the numbers can get even more surprising. Older apartments, small houses, and fixer-upper properties can still sit in a range that would barely cover a deposit in most of Western Europe. But that is also the first warning. Cheap does not automatically mean smart. A $28,000 apartment with unclear title, poor construction, or no realistic rental demand is not an opportunity. It is a future headache with a nice view. And that is the first major rule with Albania. The deal is not just the price. The deal is price plus legal clarity, plus location, plus long-term usefulness. That is what separates a strategic property from a cheap mistake. And this is where Albania starts to become more than a low-cost property story. Because property ownership can support a residency application. Albania does not work like the old Portugal golden visa. There is no simple buy this amount and automatically get the golden ticket structure that everyone understands. Instead, property ownership can help show genuine ties to the country when applying for a residence permit. That matters, because for anyone trying to live in Albania legally, spend meaningful time there, open bank accounts, build a base, or eventually move toward longer-term residency, owning property can strengthen the case. It shows commitment. It shows a physical address. It shows money invested in the country. But property alone should not be treated as a magic button. In most real cases, applicants still need proper paperwork, proof of means, clean documents, legal help, and patience. And that is the second major rule. In Albania, the opportunity is real, but the structure matters more than the headline. A cheap apartment is only useful if it fits the residency plan. And this is exactly why Albania is interesting in 2026. Because the rest of Europe has made this much harder. Portugal's property route is gone. Greece is no longer the bargain it once was. Spain has moved against its golden visa. Malta is expensive. Cyprus is not cheap. Italy has beautiful old home schemes, but renovation and paperwork can get complicated fast. Albania is one of the few places left where the numbers still feel early. And European Union candidate status is the reason some buyers are paying attention now. Albania was granted European Union candidate status years ago, and formal accession negotiations have already begun. Nobody can promise when it joins. Nobody can promise it joins at all. European Union accession is political, slow, and full of conditions. But the direction matters. Countries often become more expensive before full European Union membership, not after. Investors start pricing in the future early. Infrastructure improves. Tourism rises. Foreign buyers arrive. Local wages and demand shift. Property values in coastal and capital city areas can move before the official membership date ever arrives. That is the upside case. Buy while Albania is still priced like an overlooked Balkan country, before it is fully priced like a future European Union destination. But there is a catch. Actually, there are several. The first is title risk. This is the part people need to take seriously. Albania has had historical issues with property records, ownership claims, land registration, and incomplete documentation in some areas. That does not mean nobody should buy. It means nobody should buy casually. A proper lawyer is not optional. A clean title search is not optional. Independent due diligence is not optional. Do not rely only on the seller. Do not rely only on the agent. Do not fall in love with the sea view and ignore the paperwork. Because in Albania, the worst mistake is not missing the deal. It is buying the wrong one. The second catch is infrastructure. Albania is improving fast, but it is not Switzerland with cheaper coffee. Roads outside major corridors can be rough. Some buildings are better maintained than others. Power and internet can vary by location. Public services are improving but not perfect. That is why location matters so much. Tirana gives the strongest year-round infrastructure. Vlora gives the strongest coastal city balance. Saranda gives tourism demand, but more seasonality and rising prices. Smaller towns give affordability, but less liquidity and fewer services. The third catch is liquidity. Selling property in Albania may not be as quick or clean as selling in London, Madrid, or Lisbon. A cheap property can be easy to buy, but harder to exit. That means Albania works best for people thinking in years, not months. This is not a quick flip strategy. It is a base strategy, a foothold strategy, a buy before the window closes strategy. And if someone is going to test Albania properly, the smarter move is not flying in for 3 rushed days and buying the first cheap apartment they see. The smarter move is a scouting trip. Spend time in Tirana, then Vlora, then maybe Saranda or Korça. Walk the neighborhoods, see the buildings at night, talk to lawyers, talk to expats, ask what rents year-round and what only looks good during August. For a first scouting trip, Kiwi and Expedia links are below for comparing flights and short stays before committing to any property market. And when landing in a new country, Sali eSIM is useful for having mobile data active straight away instead of relying on roaming or airport SIM cards. Link below. Now, let's talk lifestyle, because this is where Albania becomes even more powerful. A single person can live comfortably in Albania for a fraction of what most Western countries now require. Tirana is the most expensive option, but still far below London, New York, Dublin, Sydney, or many parts of Portugal and Spain. In smaller cities, the monthly burn can be extremely low. Food is affordable, local markets are cheap, coffee culture is everywhere. Public transport and taxis cost very little by Western standards. Eating out can still feel normal rather than like a financial decision. That matters because a cheap property only changes your life if the cost of living around it also works. A $35,000 apartment in a country where monthly expenses are still $3,000 does not create freedom. It just creates a cheaper purchase price. But a $35,000 apartment in a country where someone can live simply for $800 to $200 a month changes the equation. It lowers the pressure. It gives the owner a base. It can reduce rent to almost zero. And if the property is in the right area, it may also produce seasonal rental income. That rental angle is especially interesting along the coast. In places like Vlora, Saranda, and parts of the Riviera, summer demand can be strong. Tourists arrive. Digital nomads test longer stays. Nearby destinations like Greece, Croatia, and Italy are much more expensive, which makes Albania feel like the value alternative. But again, this needs realism. Not every Albanian apartment will rent well. Not every coastal town has year-round demand. Not every building photographs well enough for tourists. And short-term rental income can depend heavily on management, seasonality, reviews, location, and presentation. The best property is not necessarily the cheapest one. It is the one that can support the life, the residency story, and the exit plan. That is the third major rule. Buy the outcome, not the discount. If the goal is residency, choose the property that supports the paperwork and address history. If the goal is rental income, choose the property with real demand. If the goal is long-term appreciation, focus on locations most likely to benefit from tourism, infrastructure, and European Union candidate momentum. If the goal is lifestyle, spend time there before buying anything, because Albania can look incredible from a distance. Beaches, prices, European Union candidate status, low taxes, cheap apartments. It is easy to get carried away. But the people who win with a market like this are not the people who rush. They are the people who do boring due diligence before the exciting decision. They check title, they check building quality, they check neighborhood demand, they check residency requirements, they check tax exposure, they check whether they actually enjoy daily life there in February, not just during a sunny week in July. For deeper country reports, residency breakdowns, and early mover property opportunities like this, Horizon Insider is linked below. Here is the real takeaway. Albania is not the European Union cheat code some people will try to sell it as. It is not a guaranteed passport. It is not instant European Union residency. And it is not risk-free. But it may be one of the few remaining places in Europe where under $40,000 can still buy something meaningful. A property base, a potential residency angle, a low-cost lifestyle, and exposure to a country moving towards the European Union rather than away from it. That combination is rare. Portugal used to be early. It is not early anymore. Greece used to be cheap. It is not cheap anymore. Spain used to be accessible. That door has tightened. Albania is still in the messy, imperfect, underpriced stage where the risk is real, but so is the upside. And that is usually where the best opportunities live. So would you rather buy into Albania early or wait until it becomes more expensive and easier to understand? Drop your answer in the comments.